Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on fundraising CRM. We're very excited to have you here with us. I'm Eran from Social Impact Team here at Monday, and today we're gonna talk together how you can centralize all of your donor data in order to easy manage and your donor engagement. So let's get started. A bit about myself. My name is Eran Rosen. I build solutions for nonprofits here at monday.com. I have more than 10 years experience in technology and nonprofits. And a fun fact about myself is that I really love surfing. Our mission here in the Social Impact Team is to help nonprofit teams such as yourself to outperform. We do that through three main domains. One is through monday.com platform, where we offer special pricing, solutions, and training for specific nonprofit needs. We also have a volunteering program where we match volunteers with nonprofits. And in these days, we're establishing a foundation that will help to bring more resources to help nonprofits to succeed. Today's agenda, we're gonna see how you can successfully manage donors and donations. What are the different things that you need in order to do that? We're gonna do a walkthrough on our fundraising CRM solution. We're gonna show you how you can get started with your own fundraising CRM solution with just a few clicks. And we're gonna leave time for Q&A. Just before we start, a bit of a housekeeping. So following this webinar, you will receive a recording of it. So you will be able to get back to it and also share it with your colleagues. During the session, please write questions in our Q&A box. Our amazing social impact team, Chen and Loren, and our team members will be gladly answering your questions. And you can, the fundraising CRM solution that we will show you, you will be able to download it from our template center, whether you have an existing account or a new account, and it's completely for free. So let's get started. So what do you need to in order to successfully manage donors and donations? First of all, we need the ability to centralize all of our donor data to make sure that everything is streamlined and we have everything in the same place. We also need the ability to create and track activities, whether it's a meeting, a call, or whatever activity that I have with my multiple donors. We also need the ability to communicate and create engagement with donors via the different communication channels. Many times I also need the ability to collaborate with my team members who work as a team in order to meet our fundraising goals. We also need the ability to generate time-saving reports, whether it's for myself, our team, or different stakeholders that we want to share with our reports. And lastly, we want also the ability to easily customize the software we're working with in order to meet our specific nonprofit needs. So I'm going to walk you through our fundraising CRM solution and show you how we're able to cater all of these different needs. And again, please feel free to ask questions in the Q&A box. Our team will be answering during the session. All right, let's go in here. Okay, so in order to get started with the fundraising CRM solution, you will go into our template center in here, click add, choose from templates, go to the new nonprofits category and click on fundraising CRM. And in one click of a button, it will download the fundraising CRM solution into your account. We're gonna start with a high level view of this template, this solution. And then we're gonna show a live example how we can use it in our day-to-day fundraising efforts and working with donors. So when you're going to download this solution to your account, 3 boards and 2 dashboards will be added to your account. The first board is the donor CRM board, where you will be able to see all of the different data regarding your donors, from their names, from the team member in your team that is the owner of the relationship with this particular donor, their email, their address, their phone number, and how much they donated and how many donations they gave so far. The second board is the donations board, where you will be able to see all of the different donations that you received, the donor's name, when the donation was issued, how much the donation amount was, donor's email, the type of donation. In this template, we've created 3 different types: check, online, and wire transfer. Again, this is easily can be customized to your own needs. So you can also add more categories and more segmentation into to meet your needs. To which program this donation was issued. In this case, we just gave generic names as program A, program C, program B, and general. And the donation year will be automatically created by a formula. We're gonna show it in just a second. The third board is the donors activities board, where you can see all of the different activities for your different donors, whether it's a call, a meeting, or a task, and who is the owner of this task in particular. We're gonna see how it's working when we're gonna do the live example in just a second. We have 2 dashboards. One is a dashboard where I can see all of my fundraising data, starting from a calendar that shows all of the different activities that me and my team have in regards to engagement with donors. I can see how many donations I got per month and projection to the future as well. I'm able to see the breakdown to donation per program, donations per year, how many new donors we got per year, and data regarding specific donations. What is the average donation amount? What is the average total donations amount per a single donor? And how many donations in average we have per active donor. The last dashboard is actually a learning center. When you download this solution, this is where you can find all of the relevant knowledge-based articles and videos that will help you to succeed with this solution. This is also where you can provide us feedback. Your feedback is super important. This is how we're going to continue and improve this solution in order to best meet your needs. So you can see here like videos and trainings to the core features of this solution. And also you are able to see basic Monday training if you or other team members needs it. So let's start. So first thing, let's start when our fundraising team have a new potential donor. So let's invent a new donor. Let's call him Jeff Singer. So I'm going to add Jeff Singer as a potential donor. And again, I'm going to assign myself as the owner of the relationship with this particular donor. I'm going to add his email. In this case, I'm going to add just a demo email that we've created to this webinar. I'm going to add his address. Let's say, just for example, he lives in the 5th Avenue in New York. His phone number to make sure we have all of the relevant data we want and need per donor. So we added this new donor, and for now you can see that he hasn't donated any money. We don't have donations. We don't have the more data regarding what was the last date of donations and programs and so on and so forth. We're gonna see how it's been automatically populated when we start receiving donations from Jeff Singer. Now let's say that this is the first, we start engaging with this donor. So one of the first things I would need is to start communicating with Jeff. And this is where I'm going to go into start conversation. And in here, I have the overview tab that I have everything that I need in order to work and succeed with this particular donor. I'm going to delete this. This is from previous demo. All right. So as you can see here in this overview tab, first of all, I have the emails and activities. This is where I can send emails and communicate with Jeff. I can also create new activities in here. I'm going to show you in a second how it's working. I have all of the information I need on Jeff in a single place. And I can also see activities and donations related to Jeff because it's a new potential donor. At the moment, I don't see anything in here. So let's say the first thing I want to do is to send Jeff an email. So we're going to click send email. it will go from the email domain that we've connected to this account to Jeff's email. And just for the sake of the demo, let's create something very generic. Hi, Jeff, let's meet. And by the way, I can also add here like personalized fields. So it will populate values from the actual columns in the table that we've just seen. I can also create templates. Imagine that you have the same emails that you're sending over and over to donors, whether it's a thank you email or whether it's a first email you want to send someone regarding a certain program or certain report you want to send them. So you can create templates for them and help to save time and streamline your processes. But for the sake of the example, let's just write a very short email to Jeff and hi Jeff, let's meet. I'm going to send this email. And as you can see here, it's already created the timeline of the activities and engagement I have with Jeff. So I can see whether it's me or whether it's other colleagues that are working with me on this solution. They can all see the email that was sent by me to Jeff. Let's go now to our demo inbox. And I can see that I received this email from this nonprofit's fundraising team. And let's say that Jeff is now replying. Let's say, great. Let's meet at okay, let's meet on December 13 at 8:30 a.m. just for the purpose of this example. And I can manage from now on everything from my fundraising solution. I don't need to go back to my email client. I can do it from my email domain, but from now on, I have everything centralized in one place. So if I'll go back into Jeff Singer, again, I can see everything in here. You can see, first of all, that I already received a reply. You can also see here that we have an indicator whether Jeff opened the email that we've sent. So meaning, even if he didn't reply, we can know when and if he opened the email. And you can see that we received the reply from Jeff in here, and we can continue the conversation from inside the emails and activities widget. So let's just reply. Great. I'm sending you the invite. Right, so I can send this. So as you can see, I have all the email thread regarding this email. Now the next thing I want to do is to actually set up the meeting. So I'm going to go into new. I'm going to set a new activity, a meeting. I'm going to set it up to December 13th to 8:30 a.m. By the way, in here, you can connect it into your Google Calendar. We're not going to show it in this webinar, but very easily you can connect it to your Google Calendar, and then it also appear in your calendar. But for the sake of this demo, let's save this date and time. And I can also write an event description or a note to myself. Meeting with Jeff to present program A for 2022. Just an example. Okay, as soon as we're going to click add, first of all, you can see that in here, it has been added to my timeline. So I can see all of the emails, all of the different activities, whether they are previous activities or upcoming activities that I have with Jeff. And if you'll go to the donors activities board, you can already see that a meeting with Jeff Singer has been added in here to the date and time that we've scheduled. And also in this board, we've added up an automation that will notify us 4 days before the date arrives. It will notify the owner of this particular activity, meaning that because I'm the owner of this activity, at December 9th, I will get a notification that I have a meeting with Jeff Singer, so I can make sure I'm being prepared to this meeting. By the way, everything that we show you now is very easily can be customized. So if you want another notification or a different notification 1 day before or 2 days before and so on and so forth, you can easily do that. Let's go back to Jeff in here. So I'm going to go back into the overview in here. I can see in a second, I will see an activity of Jeff in here. All right, so now I can see the different activities and communication with Jeff. I can also see the activity that I have with Jeff, and I still don't see any donations because we haven't received donations from Jeff yet. Let's say that December 13th had arrived, and I can click here on this task and mark it as done. And let's say that in the meeting, Jeff has requested me to send him a certain report 1 week from now. So now let's add a new task for December 20th, just an example. Send Jeff financial report. Just an example, I've added this task. I can see it in here. It's being added to the donor's activities board as a task. It will notify me 4 days before to make sure I never miss a deadline again and to make sure I maximize the relationship with my donors. I can go back in here. I will see this activity. And let's say that the December 20th, I've sent him this report. And I'm making sure that I'm on top of all of the activities and tasks I have with this particular donor. Now, let's say that my engagement was successful and Jeff decided to donate. So let's go to our donations board where all of our donations is going to be populated. By the way, everything that we're doing now in this demo is we do it manually. Of course, you can integrate it with other tools that you're using. And also it's very easy to import existing data from Excel. We're gonna show it later on, how you can import existing data from Excel and start using this solution. So in this case, Jeff has donated, let's say, $5,000. In here, in this column, I'm gonna select Jeff from the donor's CRM board because I want this donation to be attributed to Jeff. Let's say that the donation happened in the last day of this year, and we said $5,000. We can add Jeff email in here. And here we can choose the different type of donation. Again, here you can add more labels or change the existing labels. These are just placeholders for the solution once you download it. Let's say that he gave the donation online and he gave it to program C. Again, these programs can be easily customized to your own needs. You can see that the donation year 2021 has been automatically updated. This is a formula column where we've done it. And if I'll go back to the donor CRM board, you can already see that Jeff Singer has donated $5,000. It's being automatically updated, and he gave 1 donation so far, and his last donation was in December 31st to program C, and the year of his first donation was 2021. So first of all, I'm going to move Jeff into active donors. This is also something I can create an automation for, but for now, let's do it manually. And let's say 3 months later, Jeff gave another donation. So let's create another donation by Jeff. Again, I'm going to add Jeff. I'm now doing it manually. And of course, this can also integrate with other tools that you have, other platforms, and or being imported from Excel or a different spreadsheet. So let's say that on March 9th, now Jeff has donated $1,200. And this time he gave it via a check. And this time he decided to give to our general nonprofits operations. So again, I'm going to go back in here. I see that now Jeff, the total donation amount has raised from 5,000 to 6,200. And he gave two donations. It's going to be updated in just a second, as you can see. And I can see that the last donation date was already updated. I can see that the programs he donated for, it was also updated. So now I can actually start seeing more and more data on donors that I have engagement with. And just think on an example that now I want to segment all the donors that gave to a certain program. So I can easily go into my filters and I can choose program C. And now I can see all the donors that gave any time to program C. So I can easily find the data and create reports that I need. This is just an example how we structure this solution is important. So we saw how we can start communicating with a new donor, how we can add their donations, how do we have all of the data centralized in one place. But let's say that now I want to collaborate with my team members working with a particular donor. So let's say that now I want to update Lauren that is working in my fundraising team together. I'm going to say, hi, Lauren. I'm going to tag her. Let's say, I've noticed that Jeff is volunteering at the same place as you are. Just an example. And now Lauren can see it and we can start a conversation that is in the context of this particular donor. We can see all of the data and all of the conversation that we need and collaborate together with our team members in order to maximize our donor relationships. At the same time, everything that we've done is being captured in our fundraising dashboard. You can see that in here, we have a calendar that shows all of the different activities I have in a certain month. I can also turn it into a week, a month, or a day. And imagine that every week, every month, you can sit with your fundraising team, with your resource development team, and plan ahead what are the activities and who is responsible for what. In this dashboard, I also have the donation amount received per month in the past and also projection to the future. So if you remember the donation for March 2022 of $1,200 that we recently added here by Jeff Singer, so it's automatically being populated in my dashboard. I also have donations amounts per year. We can show it in a full screen. So I can see how much donation we received per year and also break down into different types of donations. So now it's online check and wire transfer, but it will adjust to any different labels and statuses that you will choose that meets to your needs. I have donations per program where I can see how much was donated per program, the breakdown. I can see how many donors I've added in each year, and I can see the numbers per average donation amount, average total donation amount per active donor, and average donations per active donor. So all of this data that you see in here, it's always being automatically updated. So actually, you don't need to create reports ad hoc. You have always the most updated data. And if you want to explore a certain data or to generate a certain report, you can easily do that through filters. Let's say, for example, I want to see how many gave to program C in a certain year. So I can go in here, full screen. And first of all, I'm going to segment only program C. So I filtered program C. So I see that in general, in all of the years to program C, people donated $10,800. But in this particular case, I just want to see the donations to program C during the year 2021. So I'm going to select this additional filter as well. As you can see, in just 2 clicks of a button, I can extract the data that I need very easily, saving time. I can also create dedicated dashboards to different stakeholders, whether it is my boss, and my colleagues, or my donors as well, very easily, and everybody can stay aligned and make sure everybody meets their targets. Let's clear these filters. By the way, I can easily add more data that I care about, more widgets of data that I care about in this dashboard. Let's give an example. Let's say that I want to see the performance of the different people in my team to see how many donations in dollars each one of my team members was able to fundraise so far. So let's see how we can do it like very fast. Let's create a chart. And in this chart, let's go to settings. And for this example, I just want to take data from the donor CRM board. So I'm going to clear these boards. In x-axis, I want to see the person. I want to compare between the performance of myself and Lauren, my colleague, in this particular example. And y-axis, I want to see how many money they were able to fundraise so far. In this example, you can see, so in just a few clicks, I can see this report. And it's been added to my dashboard. And again, if I want to see in a particular year, let's go back to 2020, for example. And in this year, I see that Lauren performed way better than I. So again, I can see the full picture of all years. I can also filter down by years, by programs, or whatever I want to do. I can easily extract this data in a few clicks of a button. So we showed the donor CRM board, the donations board, donors activities where all of my activities are being populated, the fundraising dashboard where I can see all of the data automatically being updated, and the CRM Learning Center where I can get the different trainings and knowledge-based articles I need in order to succeed with this solution. Now, let's see how easily I can get started with this solution with an existing or a new account. So I'm going to go in here. In the Add button, I'm going to go and choose from templates. I'm going to go into nonprofits. By the way, you can see that we already have more solutions in here, one for grants management. Next week, we have an additional webinar on grants management solution. We will be very happy to see you there as well. We have another solution for volunteer registration management, but let's focus currently on fundraising CRM. I'm going to click in here. I'm going to click use template. I can either choose to download this to the current workspace I'm in, or to create a new workspace. Let's create a new workspace. Let's wait just a second. All right, so you can see in a click of a button, everything is being downloaded to my account. I have all of the data in here. Let's give it a second to refresh. All of the data that you see here, these are like placeholder items. So the first thing I would want to do when I'm downloading this solution, after I understand how I want to work with it, is to clear all of the placeholders. I'm going to multiple select these. I'm going to delete everything from the donor CRM board, from the donations board, and from the donors activities board. If I'll go now into the fundraising dashboard, you will see that I have no data in here. This is because we just cleared all of the placeholder items from the different boards. And now I want to start populating it with my existing data. So whether it's the first time I'm starting to work with a certain platform, so I don't have an existing data, so I'm going to start working on it in this solution, or whether I already have an existing data, I can either manually update it, but I can also import it from an Excel. Let's see how very easily I can import this data from an Excel and start working just in less than 2 minutes with a new and advanced CRM solution. I'm going to go in here, import items. I've already made here the donors CRM one. I'm going to import this Excel. I'm going to choose what is going to be the first column in my board. In this case, it's the name. And now I can start mapping the different columns that I have. Click next, create new items. You can see very easily everything has been added. Take in mind that certain columns are not being supported. So in this case, in order to support the address column, what I would do is to add a new text column. And then there I can map the actual address column that we've imported from Excel. Next step would be to move all items to the relevant group. I can now delete the group that I've imported from Excel. I can assign owners to each one of these donors, just for an example. And now I can go to the next board, the donations board, and also import data into this board. Let's import items. Let's go to our donations Excel. Again, we can map it. In here as well, certain columns are not supported, so I can find workarounds for these. I'm going to create new items. As you can see, I have all of the donations populated in here. Let's move them into the relevant group. Delete the group I've created from Excel. Now I have a bit of manual work in order to connect the relevant donations to the relevant donors. By the way, I can also set up an automation of doing that to match based on the email address or any other unique ID. In this case, I'm going to show it how we can fastly do it manually. So I'm going to choose Phoenix Levy, for example, and I'm going to connect it into Phoenix Levy in here. You can see it's already being connected. And I'm going to go to the other donors as well and connect them. 1 second. Let's refresh real quick. Sometimes when you share a screen, it's a bit buggy. So let's refresh and show how it's working. Anyway, we have a small bug here in the donations board, probably because we're sharing currently our screen. But as you can see, when I've connected Phoenix Levy to the donations, you can already see that the donations have been connected. I can see how much was donated and so on and so forth. And the fundraising dashboard will start to be populated automatically with the data that we're creating. Now it's refreshing. Let's see if it's now helping. No, we still have an issue here. Anyway, when I will go into the fundraising dashboard, we will start seeing the data being populated automatically. And this is how I can easily take my already existing data, import it into this solution, make the small manual adjustments by connecting the donations into donors. I can do it manually. I can also create an automation for it. And I can start and create new activities and sending new emails and making sure that my team are hitting their targets. As you've seen, everything that we've created in here is highly customizable. Any change that you want to create, you can easily do that. And yeah, you can go ahead to our template center, download it, whether start working with it or importing your existing data, and help your nonprofit and resource development team better succeed meeting their goals. We're going to take some few questions now. We're happy to see that many people are still with us. Chen, do we have any particular questions we want to address? So I asked them to write all the questions, but I answered most of them, so I sent you a couple of them.
Hey, Aaron, we have a few that are on, I think, emails and activities particularly. One is about linking multiple emails to the account. So for example, if you have individual fundraising staff, can they send emails from, right, Lauren at Monday or Iran at Monday to the donors, or does it have to be from only one email?
Yes, you can connect multiple email accounts into a board. Just when you send, like when you switch between the different users, you need to make sure that you set up the right account that you want to send the email from. Just take in mind that when you're doing any kind of integration or automation with emails, you need to choose from which email account you want to send them. But definitely you can work with multiple email accounts at in the same board.
Cool. That answered, I think, Jonathan's and Caroline's question. Another question similar to that topic is, can you send blast emails to a list of emails? And also, can you email a whole group that you have filtered?
Regarding the first question, you can, I mean, it depends what is the quantity of emails that you want to send. I'll just say that Monday is not the best email marketing tool out there. This is why we have integrations with tools such as MailChimp, where you can easily create a list on MailChimp once you create a CRM such as this one on Monday. So it really depends. If it's just like tens of different emails, it's something that is possible from Monday. But if you're talking about hundreds or thousands of email blasts that you want to send, I wouldn't choose Monday as your first tool. I would choose an integration with email marketing tool, such as MailChimp, that you can easily integrate with Monday. And there you can streamline your processes this way. Regarding the second question, Lauren, can you repeat that, please?
Yes, so this is like if you're filtering a group of emails, right? So the way that you were showing how you can filter by different categories, is there a way that you can just focus on an email just like that group that you filtered?
I'm not sure I understand the question. So let's go back in here in this case. So if I have different emails, for example, of donors, maybe.
Yes, and I think it's like if you're filtering out a list, so you're taking out, you know, maybe a few and you're just focusing on maybe a certain donation amount or something like that, are you then able to email those?
Yeah, definitely. So I can create all kinds of filtering. For example, let's say I want to email only people from that donated to program C, for example. Okay, just an example. And currently, in order to create the email blast, I have all kinds of ways of doing it. The easiest way would be to create an integration with my Gmail or Outlook account and then set up a trigger that will say, when something is done, send an email. And this way I can filter it only to the relevant group by the logic of filter that I've created.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's what we're getting at for the question. And then let's see, we have a few more. Lily has a question. Is there an automation to start each fiscal year with all donors and potential donors, or do I have to manually add them?
An automation to create a fiscal year with all, I'm not sure I understood the question.
And it looks like that question is from Lily. If you can elaborate a little bit more, maybe in the Q&A, that would be great. And we can address that question in a minute. Let's see. Okay, cool. So the next one is, so if our organization is looking to combine development and communication activity in one calendar, is this possible with this CRM? Could we have one calendar that shows the next action item for a specific donor, like you showed in the demo, while also showing a reminder for the next newsletter, content, etc., that needs to be sent out?
So definitely one of the powerful benefits of dashboards is that I can populate data from different boards within my Monday account. In this particular case, we just populated data from the donors activities board, which has this data in it. But let's go in here and let's say that I'm going to have also a board for my communications team, and I want to add different types of activities and dates into this calendar. So I can easily go into settings in here, add the relevant board that my development team or communications teams are working with, and then I will be able to see everything in one place. I can connect up to 50 boards into one dashboard. So in this way, I can populate a lot of data into one place and make sure that our teams are aligned. So definitely you can easily do that.
Yeah. A lot of really good questions. Okay. How do you carry over information from one year to the next? The specific user has had a hard time understanding where our project information and work tasks go once we mark them as done, and we want to be able to refer back to them each year as we plan out the next year's workflow.
Yeah, so this is a great question. In this particular template, it really depends on the amount of activities or data that you have, but actually you don't really need to create an archive for it or to pass it to a different place. You can actually use the same boards and just filter it to your own needs. Just an example, if I'll go to the donors activities board, if you want to see the activities from a certain year or from this year, you can just create a filter for it. And let's say that let's go into date. We want to see a specific year or a specific month, let's say. We can choose this month, just an example. And now I will be able to see only the activities for this month. I can do the same thing for this year or previous year and so on and so forth. I can also save it as a new view. And then I can call this view this month's activities. And in this way, when I'm going to click this tab, this new view, I will be able to see only the relevant data that is I want to see, whether it's this month, this year, and so on and so forth. And if I go to main table, I will always be able to see all of the data. I can create more kinds of filtering, like show me only the tasks that are not being done and so on and so forth. But in this particular solution, usually you won't need to create or to clean all your data and create new boards for a new year. You can only play around with how you filter it or how you're viewing it. This will help you to save time while working on these processes.
Awesome. One other, Lily followed up with a little bit more details in terms of the fiscal year. And I think what she's looking for is being able to automatically move all of the active donors to the potential donors group at the start of a new fiscal year to start them over in the giving cycle. Is there an automation to move all of the active donors to the potential donors group on a given date? And maybe you could show us one of those automations, Eran.
Yeah, so definitely, let's say, let's create a date column, just an example. And let's call it next fiscal year. And let's say next fiscal year is on 1st of September 2022, just an example. I can assign all donors into this date. Just an example. And now I can set up an automation. I can go into Automation Center and I can create an automation that will say when date arrives. And date, I will choose next fiscal year. I will ask move item to group, potential donors, create automation. And what will happen now is that when this date will arrive, all of the items in here will move into potential donors. I can do it this way. I can also set up a different kind of trigger, maybe changing a status or whatever. But this is how I can easily create an automation that will help you save a lot of time in your day-to-day work.
Awesome. Okay, it looks like we have two more questions. One is there a way, if you have like receipts of the donations, how you could incorporate them to this board and, for example, And then also within that, if based on that answer, can they also be like printed so you could share them with the donor?
Definitely, that's a great question. Many times when I'm working with donors and donations, I want to incorporate different kinds of files. It can be whether a receipt or whether a report that I want to save related to a certain donor. So I can go in here, let's say for Jeff Singer, I can go into files. I can add new files that are related to Jeff Singer, just an example. Can add them in here. And now I have everything that is related to Jeff Singer, not only the activities, the communications, and the conversations, also the relevant files I can download in here. By the way, I can also create conversation based on a certain file. Let's say I want to collaborate with my team members on a certain file. I can print them. Yeah, so I definitely can attach files to any kind of donor that it will be very easy for other people to find these.
Awesome. All right, we're down to one last one. So another user is asking about the emails and activities piece, like about automating a response from one email and being able to connect it with other users. A little bit more on the use case is they want to automate a thank you note after inputting a donation from a specific email address. So they're wondering if there's a way to like connect this specific donation to the donor and then be able to send them a thank you note kind of in a more automated way.
Definitely. So let's go back. There are a few ways of doing that. Let's present one of those. So if I'll go back into the donations board, I can set up an automation. Then when a new item is created, send an email to the email column. We can do it for integration, whether Gmail or Outlook. Okay, I can say, for example, when an item is created, send an email to someone, and then I can also create a personalized email. It will say hi, and then it will populate the value of the name of this donor, and I can create this template for the email that I want to send as a thank you email. So each time a new donation is going to be populated, an email, a thank you email will be sent this way, and also is going to be populated in the emails and activities. And this way you will be able to track what was being sent and also to start and create conversations further. So definitely you can also automate sending emails based on different triggers, such as a new item is created or any other trigger that you will choose, whether it's a status change or arrival of a date, and so on and so forth.
Cool. I think you've answered all of the questions, so there are no more in the chat.
So thanks everyone for joining today. It was great to see people from all around the world with a shared goal of creating social impact wherever you are. We're looking forward also to see you next week in our grants management webinar. We're going to send you, following this webinar, a recording of the webinar and a link on where you can download the fundraising CRM solution. And we're looking forward to see you in future events that our team will host. Thank you, everyone, and good evening from Tel Aviv.